If you just now tuning in, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell. GMS fam, the green room. Let's talk about it. Hey, yo, GMS fam, the green room. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the GMS show. It is Wednesday. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. You know, we start out every show with peace, love, positive energy, good vibes, passing it forward, hoping that you pass it along as well. GMS fam, the green room. Appreciate y'all, man. I see y'all in the chat. Shout out to Southern California, Cosmic Drip, Glittery Bubbles, Joe Blast. Leandris Davis, I think that's how you, Leandris, is it Leandris or Leandris, there we go, what a name, shout out to you. Andre, what's going on? Justin Furlow in the building, Simo, Yoda Khan, Big J, what's going on? Nolan, I see y'all. Joshua in the building. We got some things to talk about today, man. A few topics, but one thing I want to talk about, of course, with y'all, especially those that tune in to the 5150 show. I want to get y'all opinions on this, man. And with full disclosure, this is not a hate on D show. I'm not here to hate on D. I'm not here to see people hate on D. I just want to ask a real question because, excuse me, over the years, you've seen a lot of comments about D, not just the ones in favor of her, but a lot of people that hate. And I really want to know where that hate comes from, but we're gonna talk about the dynamic shift and what it looks like when D is on the show and when she's not on the show. And I think last night was a big testament to the dynamic shift when D is not there. It seems like the show runs more smoothly. There's a lot more jokes and a lot more just overall good time, I guess, and not to shit on D, but it's like there a lot of the conversation surrounds relationship, surrounds women and different things that go on and different things that Corey has experienced. And the thing is, a lot of the times Corey cannot get his full statement or his full point out with full context without D taking slight or taking it the wrong way or taking offense or trying to stick up for women as a whole, when we know that, you know, Corey's talking about a specific type of women, even if there's a lot of those specific type of women. I saw the change in how he was maneuvering through his points and talking about certain things, and not that Marcus is a yes man, or, you know, but you know, he's also a man, so he can relate to a lot of those points. It's weird because as I'm listening to the things that Corey is saying, in my head, just from being somebody that has watched for a long time, in my head, I'm hearing a response from D. Like it's like I'm waiting for it, but it's not coming because she's not there. Matter of fact, let me not be extra rude. You know, shout out to D. You know, they said she's sick, so I want to make sure, you know, sending all healing energy. Hope she's all right, and you know everything is cool over on that way. But it just was different, and it just seemed like everything was running more smoothly. Now, here's one thing I would say, or one question I would ask y'all, because as I read the comments on the 5150 page, it seemed like a lot of people were cheering for the fact that D wasn't there. So let me ask y'all this question. Why do you think D sticks around? Do you think it's something we don't know about behind the scenes, or do you think that it's just one of those real, you know, close friendships where they just get on each other's nerves, but they still love each other and fuck with each other because, you know, they basically like family? Like, what do you think? Why do y'all think Darlene sticks around? And after I ask these questions and do that, we're gonna move forward, because there's a couple things I want to get to that happened on the show that I want to be able to speak up about. But I would like to know from y'all, man, especially those that are gonna watch this later and comment below in the comment section, man. I want to know, why do you think D sticks around? What is it? Let me see. Grits and Gravy said, I think she is just a loyal person. Yeah, that's one thing about D. I think D is probably one of the most loyal individuals that has ever been around Corey in his life. And that's just an opinion. I don't know Corey's personal life. All I know is what we see. And as far as I can see, the only person that has stuck around since day one and has put up with probably the most shit from Corey is D. And she's still there till this day, still helping him move merch, you know what I'm saying? Helping him make money, helping him, you know, push the show along, being a female, you know, not only the, you know, somebody to look at, but somebody to listen to, having that aspect on the show. What do y'all think? Southern said, I think she is loyal to a fault. Okay, explain. Glittery said, D left before and the show got boring. I mean, even then, it's like, here's what I mean by, because I don't want it to seem like I'm just saying that the show is better without D. Let me elaborate on that. I think Marcus and Corey have finally found a dynamic that works for them. You know what I'm saying? Where Marcus is more comfortable in his joke telling and his roasting and his banter, opposed to, you know, last year and however long he's been there. But I think that now they found like that balance, that dynamic between the two, where they can hold their own without having D there. What do y'all think about that? Thomas said D is bored. It's same reason she volunteers for to take care of old people. Oh, I think that's just her being a sweethearted person. Josh said D is value with the type of male perspective given between the fellas. And here's another thing. D's not a weak person either. She's loyal, but she's not a weak person. It seems like a lot of the time she gets emotional or like she reacts out of emotion, but she's not a weak person, because please understand, there are not a lot of women at all besides I've seen a D or a Just Niche or maybe a Precious and a Kamira. Those type of women, they can handle the type of conversation that Corey brings to that show. They're the type that they can hold their own in that conversation, and it doesn't bother them or set them aside or make them feel like, oh, listen to this misogynistic, terrible person. It's like, no, we need to have those conversations and have dialogue between men and women so that we can understand each other and where we're coming from. So by no means is D a weak individual. I know for a fact, and it's crazy because, you know, we hear that. We hear when Corey talks about the women that act a certain way at his comedy shows, or women that have got up and left, or the women that look at their men and like, oh, you gonna laugh at some shit like that. It's like that type of shit, you gotta be stronger and you gotta be more confident in who you are. You know, a lot of us us men especially the men in the comments, if you're in a relationship and the person that you're with, the woman that you with, and y'all listening to 5150 or listening to a stand-up by Corey and she's laughing too, you got somebody, and this isn't just because it's Corey, it's because of the type of things he talks about and what makes people uncomfortable or makes people look at their spouse a different way. This is the type of shit where you can tell the strength of your relationship and how confident you guys are in your own relationship, and wouldn't allow something like that to, deter you guys or to get you in some type of argument later on. You know what I'm saying? Instead of arguing, y'all would talk about how funny, the bits were, how this and that. You know what I'm saying? Cosmic said last show she was on, she keeps saying she knew Corey was going to bring up something after he found out. First of all, it's inevitable that Corey's going to bring up something that you told him. So I don't know why people haven't learned by now not to say nothing in front of him or to say anything personal to him, because it's gonna come out. If you are gonna be on that show with him and y'all have a back and forth, something personal you told him or something he knows about you personal is going to come out. You have to stop telling Corey personal business. Point blank, period. What up, Zen Master? What's going on, my brother? LH Groove says, or Groves, D do be interpreting Corey when he do make valid points, and yes, sometimes the show is better without her due to that fact. Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of typical. I don't want to like generalize all women, but it's kind of typical when you, especially in this generation, when the first thing people do is get on the defense instead of hearing somebody. They rather hear what they want to hear and interpret something the way they want to interpret it without actually listening to what somebody is saying and where they're coming from. A lot of the times I don't hear any malice or any, like, for the most part, people got to remember that Corey's a comedian, not that the things he's saying is not truthful because he's a comedian, but some of the things that he's saying and the truths that he's speaking will come out in joke form, or he may say something to compliment what he's saying, to make it funny or to make the viewers laugh, because at the end of the day, he is doing a show. It's not like he's sitting there talking to, somebody face to face without cameras on. But you gotta be strong and confident in what you believe in to be able to be around somebody like that and listen to what they have to say, and be able to not be combative, but if you have a rebuttal and you have something, like if you disagree with it, there's a way to talk about it, to disagree with something in a way where you both can see each other's points without having to look at it as, oh, you just a woman, you being emotional, or, oh, you just a man and you think every woman is this and that. And this is the thing too, like in those type of situations, like if you have a girl that don't like the type of comedy that Corey does and doesn't want to listen to it or don't fuck with it, it also is a testament to who she is if she doesn't want you to watch it, or is like complaining every time you watch it, or makes a fuss, or actually is trying to actively have you stop watching it. Like, why do you watch it? You need to stop watching that shit. Then it's a problem, because that's a controlling motherfucker. And and we can go into a relationship talk if y'all want to, but I just see that as a warning sign. It's a red flag. If you can't enjoy something without having to feel like, or without your significant other feeling like you agree with everything that's being said, there's a problem. Because it's not that everybody agrees with everything he's saying, it's just there's a lot of truths to it. It's a lot of truths to it. You can't say that the type of women that he talks about don't exist. Especially if he's actively saying that he fucks with these type of women. You know what I'm saying? If he's and that's another thing people forget. If Corey is actively going after these types of women, he can be able to talk about them, but at the same time, he shouldn't be complaining about them, because these are the people he's choosing. Let me read some of y'all comments. Stanley said, let's keep it a buck. The show went down when Zoe left because everyone had a role. That's what makes a great team. Teamwork is dream work. I will say, when talking about a dynamic shift, there was a huge shift when Zoe left. A very huge shift when Zoe left, because And I know Corey talks about the numbers and all the people watching, but let's keep it real. A lot of people are not just tuning in for, not because of just because there's the cult fan base. There's the cult 5150 fan base. But there's also the large amount of people who want to see something controversial, who want to hear Corey say something about somebody and be like, oh damn, look what he said about so and so. Like, it's that type of shit. Not that there isn't still substance to the show. It's just that a great deal of that substance is lost now because of him and Zoe's relationship being broken apart. And we do miss Zoe, but I think it's important that, Zoe continues on his path, because you truly will understand where you sit with somebody when things get heated. When shit blows over, when shit hits the fan, you will understand where you stand with somebody in that moment. Because even if I'm mad at you, even if we're heated, even if we're in a back and forth, I still realize that we're on air. There's cameras, there's people, there's thousands of people watching. I am not going to put you in a position where people can have this view of you or even contemplate or think things about you, because I'm so mad that I would rather win this argument by any means necessary, even if that means putting your business on blast, even if that means highly disrespecting you to the point where there is no coming back from. I still would have sense enough not to put us and our friendship and everything that we built in jeopardy that way. But I mean, Corey's a different person. Mr. Mask Man, I want to read this comment. He said, I think people who currently have a problem with D is because of how Corey interacts with her. Whenever he makes a point about females, he tries to make her an example of what he's talking about. That is very true, actually. That is actually very true. And when it comes to that, and here's the thing about, and I don't want to, once again, just like not categorizing all women, I'm not going to categorize all 5150 listeners and watchers. But there is a big demographic of them who do not see logic and only go off of what Corey says. So when he says something or when he makes a point, it doesn't matter if there's logic behind it, or if he's wrong, or if what D said was right in that moment. They're just gonna ride with whatever he's saying. And I mean, you can't help that. You really can't help that. And there's nothing that, I mean, there's no talking shit about it either, because you've built a fan base, a core fan base, to the point where people gonna ride with you regardless. And you will hope that you can build a fan base like that. But it doesn't help the narrative, and it doesn't help the cause of people wanting to have D on the show. But I mean, regardless, as you can tell over the years, Corey is gonna have whoever he wants to have on that show. Let's see. B1 family say freeze Zoe, Darlene, the what? The Murph Freeze, bro, nigga, and Corey dope original cast. Let's see. Steeler Lee said the best lineup of 5150 was Corey, Zoe, Freeze, and D, with Grady coming in every now and then. Grady was and I don't know how many people can agree to this, but Grady was one of the saddest losses. I think Zoe is the saddest loss, but I think next to that was Grady, because I think regardless of however you feel, because I know, and somehow, I mean, till this day, I don't know how people don't see it for what it is, but I mean, that's just how the world works. You're never going to be on the same page, but that situation with Grady should have never happened. It should have never blown up the way that it blew up, and it actually was nowhere near as serious as it was for it to go on as long as it did, and how long the disrespect went, especially when it came to, Corey, every chance he got to talk crazy about him. It's like there was nothing, when you think about it, there was literally nothing, and it didn't even have to do with Corey. None of it. If you go back to why this actually happened, none of it had to do with Corey. Where he's from has nothing to do with Corey. Him fucking around on the road, if that was the case, has nothing to do with Corey. whether him and his girl lived together has nothing to do with Corey. The car he drive, none of it had to do with Corey. And I think a lot of the times that when these beefs spark up and when these problems spark up, Corey will do something and then the person will finally respond and then Corey will be like, oh, this motherfucker said something about me. It's happened with Grady, happened with Ryan, all these people that have had problems initiated towards them by Corey has ended with it seeming like that person did something to him. So, I mean, that was a huge loss, I think, because Grady was heating up, always being somebody who was a great input on the show, but more so with like the songs. You know, we haven't heard. And matter of fact, it's crazy. I think Precise was right. Yeah, I think I might be agreeing with Precise. I think Precise was right. I think after he left, the music left with it. Because we don't have no songs by the 5150 crew. I think that the ship has sailed from having songs or making up songs at the end of the show after Precise dip, which is sad because they was doing songs before Precise. But it's like and to be honest, that's a very big aspect of the show that I do actually miss is the songs. The songs were fun. Even if the song didn't work out, it still was funny because niggas was fucking up. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things that fucked up. Still at least, or hold on, let me go back up a little bit. Josh said YouTube is Corey's machine right now. He has to be shock jock to fill the club, like you said. The U.S. loves drama. Yeah. Glittery Bubble said, I missed the basketball games between Corey, Bobby, and Zoe. We'll never have that element again. Well, even if they all were friends, I don't think we'll have that element. Them niggas is getting too old and can't be able to run up and down the court anyway. So I don't know if we would have ever saw it again anyway. Imagine Bobby getting on the court now. Goddamn, this motherfucker's lungs will collapse. Cosmic Drip said Corey was still holding on to Grady, stealing his jokes, so the gangster stuff made him pick at Grady. When did Grady steal his jokes? I don't remember that. I don't remember Grady ever stealing jokes. Can somebody fill me in? Unless I'm blanking out. Still Elise said people don't realize by their falling out we no longer get the mansion shows with Corey, Zoe, Grady, Craig, and Bobby under one roof schooling young men. Yeah, and that aspect alone, I think, is the reason why I think more people should continue to tune in the Zoe show, because especially the 5150 crew, like this is just me thinking out loud. If Zoe wants to do his show, but I think the people that follow 5150, same as them watching on Tuesday, should be tuning in the Zoe show if they missed that aspect. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that people don't tune in or people don't focus on it, but I think he should get more eyes and ears than he does, just because, you know, that is an aspect that a lot of people do miss. He said songs with Nate and Craig too. Yep. Cosmic said, honestly, Grady, Borsice, and Bobby were more entertaining and funny than Marcus to me. Oh, damn. Mr. Markman said, I believe Bobby Glanton was very underappreciated. He was the only regular cast member who was insightful and would push back and challenge the things Corey would say. Zoe mostly would just co-sign and remix. Oh, okay. Not for the BS says, I thought Corey said he didn't want you posting about him, though. 5150 Nation knows why you salty. Oh, okay. That made a lot of sense. Whoever's burner account that is, I hope you stick around. Because everybody put a chicken in the chat. How about that? Put the chicken drum in the chat. Because everybody that ever comes through be like, I thought she weren't going to talk about 5150 no more. It's like, niggas be holding up chicken in pictures. I don't want to hear shit about what people don't do and what they couldn't do or wouldn't do, or who said shit, who said this. Nigga, every time I see a comment like that, I think of chicken. Y'all niggas gotta give it a rest. Get those nuts out your mouth. That's all you gotta do. Put the chickens in the chat. Josh said, Ooh, the big C. I don't know if we could. Can you still say that word on YouTube without them blocking you or getting you fucked up on YouTube? I don't even know. I don't even think it matters. COVID most definitely jacked up Zoe's show, unfortunately. Yeah, that's true. I don't know, because I feel like during that time was the most when people actually pulled up and like wanted to watch internet shows, like during that time, because you couldn't go outside, you couldn't do shit, you couldn't go anywhere. So like people, that was when niggas was getting big deals. Like wasn't 2020 the year that Budden signed a big deal? Wasn't that the same? I think that was the same time that they did the Spotify deal. But there was deals going out left and right, millions of dollars during that time, because of how much viewership ramped up. A good one on the show was Black. Oh my God, Black. Shout out to Black Ron. I gotta say that. Shout out to Black Ron. Great dude. Hilarious, insightful. I actually think that Black Ron would have been somebody who, if he was a reoccurring guest, I think he doesn't live in LA, so it wouldn't be possible. But if he did live in LA, I think that would be a great addition to the show. Because not only is he funny, but he really can drop some jewels. And the people really, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the people focus in more on Black Ron when he's there and pay attention more when he says certain things when he's there, because the way that he speaks, it's like there's conviction in his voice. So you pay attention. And on top of that, he's black than a motherfucker. You already paying attention to him and looking at him when he on the screen, but he has real shit to say at the same time. So shout out to Black Ron. Let's go further in, man, because I don't want to talk about the D shit anymore. Let's talk about Stephen A. Smith. So Stephen A. Smith popped up out of nowhere when it came to supporting Jerry Jones in that bullshit ass picture that was unearthed by whoever. I think, matter of fact, the shit was out before, but after the shit was released, I don't know how. When do y'all remember when that shit was released? Do y'all remember when that photo actually got dropped? Because they said the photo was actually out beforehand, but they didn't say when it was, how it was, any of that shit. They just said that it was out before. They didn't never. I was like, hold up, how did we miss this? How did this go swept under the rug? Like, how did nobody at any point be like, yo, this is weird? I didn't know where that came from, but Jerry Jones had a racist picture pop up. Him back in when he was 14, whenever 15, however teenage year he was showed up at a school and actively tried to stop black kids from entering. The picture came back up. Stephen A. Smith decided out of nowhere that he was going to say, hey, I'm very fond of Jerry Jones, but why are we going to do X, Y, and Z when it comes to Jerry Jones? This picture was back when blah, 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 X, Y, Z. Matter of fact, I want y'all to hear what Stephen A. had to say about it. Where is this shit? Maybe I can't. I can't search it up at the moment, but I have the clip that came afterward. I'm just going to do what happened afterwards, because y'all heard what he said. I don't need to play the coonery. He took up for Jerry Jones. He got backlash from the black community, as always. This is nothing new. He got backlash from the community, and he decided that he was going to go and respond to the black community and do what he does best. See, when it comes to actually putting the heat and condemning some real shit as a black man on that network, he won't do it. But when he gets the blacklash, as I call it, he got blacklash, he will go harder on the black community than he would the person in question, aka Jerry Jones. So check this out. This is what he had to say in response to everybody, the black community that has something to say?
You know, last week I brought up the stuff about Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones being a 14-year-old or 15-year-old, depending on which report you believe, and how he was in North Little Rock High School.
The picture.
Yeah, the picture, right? And there have been a lot of people that have been misconstruing my message, talking about I'm coming to Jerry Jones's defense. What was he doing there, Stephen A? What I said was, it's a still picture of a 14-year-old from 66 years ago. I stand by what I said last week, but I only bring up that subject to say this. This ain't the necessary platform to go where I'm going to go in terms of some black folks in our community talking smack. And so there's certain things that I want to address. You know what? People run their mouths and they talk a lot of stuff with their podcasts and all of this other stuff. Yeah, I got a television show, but I got a podcast too. And I'm going to address this on my Wednesday podcast. And all I'm going to say is it's black on black. And you know what? I don't even know if white folks need to be listening with the stuff that I'm going to say about some of us. Y'all just wait. I'm going to respond. No Mercy with Stephen A, my podcast. That's all I wanted to say. And I'm going to touch on that and then some. That's all.
Do you see how much venom, how much he actually doesn't like black people? Like, the way he was talking, like, where is this energy for Jerry? Where is this energy for the people that was coming at Kyrie? So you had a lot more venom for Kyrie than you did Jerry Jones. You came up with an excuse so fast. I mean, with the quickness. Oh, a picture from 60-something years ago? We're going to use that? We going down a steep hill. No, we're going down the road of Stephen A. Coon. Look at this man. There's no other point that he was trying to make other than what you see in front of you right there. You see that shirt, the I Love Jerry Jones shirt? Look at this happy ass Negro. The plantation nigga, the type of motherfucker that would have had on an I Love Massa shirt walking in the big house to serve biscuits with your big forehead, fucked up hairline, and having ass. Now, I'm going to play y'all a clip from what he had to say on his podcast. But first, I need y'all to hear the response from Corey that Corey had for him when he said, or when he got wind of what Stephen A. Smith was getting prepared to do. Listen.
I want America to know this about Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith has a very unique job. He is the voice of the racist corporate world at ESPN. They pay him well to say and speak in the racist voice. That's why he laughs at us. Nothing happens to Stephen A. Smith when he disrespects black people. He does not get in trouble for this. Have you noticed this? This is the same people that wanted Kyrie to apologize who employ Stephen A. Smith. I don't think there's never been a time in history where a man can say so much negative things about black people and take up for people like Jerry Jones, and there is no repercussions for what he do. This Stephen A. Smith's presence in the world is proof as black people we don't really have a militia or people who ride for us. I bet Stephen A. Smith has not been approached about anything he's done to discredit and shame black people as he does such a well job of on ESPN, because ESPN is egging him on to do it. Charles Barkley is being egged on to talk about black people. He married somebody white and he bragged on his daughter marrying somebody white. I'm not saying just because he married somebody white, he's a racist, but Charles Barkley is a self-hating motherfucker. Shaq has proven himself to be someone who has bought into this corporate game where they have made sure Shaq understands you have to say and discredit and bring encouraging thoughts about certain black people on television. They won't get fired for this. This is how they do. That's why they do it. Their Caucasian boss tell them, listen, we need you to talk about Kyrie. We need you to take up for Jerry Jones. He was young at the time. Okay, boss, I'm going to go say something good. Don't worry about it. I'm going to put it together. And he went on there and he took up for Jerry Jones. We can look at Jerry Jones. We know when Jerry Jones had a problem with his players kneeling, and he said, he threatened them not to kneel. You know what I'm saying? That's a racist. That's a racist, and people are scared to call them for who they are because, you know what I'm saying? There's repercussions for that.
Now, that right there is absolutely the truth when it comes to Stephen A. and these people that are on these platforms and these sports commentators and the guys that make the big bucks on these television networks. There's no, I mean, why else? First of all, the weirdest part about what Stephen A. had to say in his little PSA on ESPN is, I don't think this is for white folks. White folks shouldn't be wanting to see because this is going to be black on black. You're telling white people not to tune in because you're about to go off on black people? Do you understand that is nothing but an invitation to racist white people to pull up just to hear you talk down on your own? What was the point of even saying that? That is the biggest house nigga coon shit I've ever heard. White folks, trying to protect white people from hearing what? What are you protecting them from? What are you warning them of? That to me is a side way of just making black people look a certain way to white people. Why would you even bring that? Why would you even bring that up? But Stephen A. is a weirdo. And there's no question that Stephen A. is about the fuckery. Now, let's see, man. Let's see. Let me bring this up because I want y'all to hear what he had to say on his little punk-ass podcast. Listen to this, man.
How many scholarships did we generate for HBCUs? Hasn't the number exceeded over 12,000? Hasn't the dollars exceeded over 30 million? Where y'all at? Selling out? Selling out? I'm looking out. I'm looking out. Because what you missed in my diatribe in defense of Jerry Jones was the bigger message that I was saying, which is, do we really want to open the Pandora's box where a picture can be pulled from 57 years ago to use as impetus and motivation to castigate, castrate, demonize, and characterize another human being? I'm not.
Yes, Stephen A. Smith, because when that person in question is a fucking owner of a football team where the NFL is dominantly black, and you have somebody who we have seen in history refuse to hire black coaches, a head coach, I mean, certain things should come into question. If a picture of a man who people suspect to be racist comes out and shows him actively being racist, yes, Stephen A. Smith, that has to be used in society to condemn him and to characterize him, because clearly what people have been thinking is fucking true. Try not to cuss as much on here so that YouTube will stop fucking with me. Fuck. But this is what he's saying. Exactly, Joe Blast. They did it to Bill. They did it to all these motherfuckers who have been getting brought back up of whatever happened to whoever back in the 40s and the 50s and 60s and 70s? Yes. Now, this made me think of maybe this is bigger than what we think it is. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can call him, you know, a coon or somebody who is trying to take up for massa. But what if there's a picture out there of Stephen A. Smith doing something compromising, doing something strange for a little piece of change? Who knows if there's a picture out there that needs to be unearthed? Who knows? Let's hear what else he had to say.
Not saying what he was or wasn't doing. What I'm making a point of is we don't know.
Wait. Run that back. You want to say that again, Stephen A.?
Another human being. I'm not saying what he was or wasn't doing. What I'm making a point of is we don't know.
We don't know? Stephen A., do you see this picture, sir? Stephen A. Smith, do you see this picture? Do you know where it's from? Do you know what it was described as? Do you understand that this man said he was only being curious? He was being curious. Hey, I was just a young 14 curious white kid in a fucking racist time in America where segregation was active. And I just wanted to be curious and wanted to see what was happening with all these white people that were blocking these black kids from going into school. I was curious because somehow I didn't know. Is he really saying that we don't know what the fuck we looking at? You did all of that stupid ass coon dancing on ESPN talking about what you was gonna do and what you was gonna say and how this was gonna, oh man, you hyped this shit up like it was finna be a ether on the black community, and you sat up here and ended with saying, we don't know. Good job, Stephen A. Smith. You have failed once again. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Fuck that guy. Let's move on. I'm tired of talking about Five Head. Recently in the news, I want to speak on this real quick because this caught my eye, and it was weird to me because it's not that I support either of these people, but it was a weird time for this person who is in a position where he doesn't have to worry about what anybody's doing with their funds, decided to come after Oprah for some reason. Howard Stern went on his radio show to talk about how Oprah likes to show off her wealth. And to me, that sounded like a white guy who didn't like to see somebody black who is extremely wealthy. Now, maybe I'm thinking into it too much, maybe not. I don't follow Oprah on Instagram, but I'm pretty sure Oprah ain't doing the Chappelle skit where motherfuckers is sitting there holding money to their chest and having naked bitches stripping and all types of crazy shit going on in the crib because motherfuckers is rich. I'm pretty sure she's just, what does Charlamagne say? Living her wage. Now, what he said on his podcast or on his show was she knows how to be rich. She kind of likes to show it off, which is something I'm not comfortable with. I don't think that people should show off their wealth. First of all, how does Oprah being rich make you uncomfortable? It is hard. It's very hard to defend Oprah, but it's like, it's more so going at this guy, because for some reason Howard Stern continues to talk shit and say random shit that has no, I don't know. I mean, why? What was his point? What was his point? Who else has made Howard Stern uncomfortable with being wealthy? Do you know how many people actually go on Instagram or go on social media and actually show off their wealth and actually brag about the shit? like disgustingly brag about being rich and showing off stacks of money and trips and all types of cars and all types of shit. Do you know how many people do that on a daily basis on the internet? But for some reason, the focus point for Howard Stern was Oprah. I don't know. Fuck both of them. Fuck both of them. Why is she on your mind? And why the fuck is Oprah even out here in these streets? I don't even know. This shit just bugged me for absolutely no reason. This is one of those I don't give a fuck but kind of give a fuck moments, man. Shout out to my 3Gs family. He said, mind your business, bitch. You worry about 650 million clown. Yeah, he's like, first of all, nigga, you are filthy rich. What the fuck makes you uncomfortable about somebody else's wealth? That don't make sense to me. But I mean, people gonna get bothered by unnecessary shit nowadays, and that's how people move. But speaking of being bothered, Will Smith had an interview with Trevor Noah and kind of went more into depth. You know, we saw the apology video. You know, we've seen a few times where Will has addressed the slap at the Oscars with Chris Rock. But he had an interview with Trevor Noah where he kind of put in depth a little bit more, you know, kind of how he was feeling at the moment, kind of how he feels, you know, now and how he's been processing everything and how things been going. I want y'all to hear a little bit of what Will had to say. Holy shit, this is a big ass picture of Will Smith on my screen. Hold on. Let me see if I can shrink this. I didn't know it was going to be that big. What the hell? Pause. All right. Let's listen to what Will had to say.
I guess what I would say, you just never know what somebody's going through. You know, in the audience right now, you know, you're sitting next to strangers, you know, and somebody's mother died last week, you know, somebody's child is sick, you know, somebody just lost their job. Somebody just found out their spouse cheated. You know, there's all these things, and there's strangers, and you just don't know.
I guess I'll see
what's going on with people, you know. And I was going through something that night, you know, and not that you know justifies my behavior at all. No, I would just say, you know, you're asking what did I learn, and it's that. We just got to be nice to each other, man. You know, it's like, it's hard.
Everybody was speculating. One of my friends called me and we're talking, everyone's got these opinions. And then someone said, I feel like we saw the real Will Smith in that moment. Because there's a guy who's so full of love and so positive. But I feel like in that moment we saw the real Will Smith. And I said, and not because I know you, you know, but I said, honestly, I said, no, if anything, I feel like it was the opposite. Like, you know, you talk in your book about growing up so afraid of conflict. You grow up in your book talking about how you were always afraid to fight with, how you were afraid to. For me, it felt like in watching that moment, I felt like you were like, it's like in a weird way, it's like you stood up for the wrong thing at the wrong time in a way.
Yeah, you know,
do you know what I'm saying? It felt like you'd taken everything, because here we are, you know, human to human, man to man, but like, people have said some shitty things about you and your family.
Absolutely.
You know, you're a human being. It felt like, and I would say this to people, I was like, it's becoming relentlessly shitty now. And people think it's okay.
Yes.
That's the thing. People think it's okay. And not Chris, by the way. I'm talking about people, the internet, etc. But it felt like this was Will Smith for the first time going, okay, is this how you want me to respond or not?
Yeah. No, it was, you know, it was a lot of things. It was the little boy that watched his father beat up his mother. You know, it's you know, all of that just bubbled up. In that moment. You know, that's not who I want to be.
Now, Will, and here's the thing, man, because I've been seeing a lot on social media. People's reaction, like the way that people reacted to a smack opposed to like something else that is like traumatic is crazy to me. Cause like they had, you know, somebody asked Will in a separate interview, what do you think about the people that say they're not, you know, necessarily ready to see a film by you yet due to what What do you mean ready? Like, who is at their house right now, crumbled up into a ball, talking about, oh my God, Will smacked Chris. I can't believe Will Smith smacked Chris Rock like this. Oh my God, I'm going through a traumatic change in life. Who the fuck is losing sleep over this? Who is having to go to therapy? What does he mean by people that aren't ready yet? Like, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Amy Schumer, one of the people that was like saying that she was traumatized by what happened. Bitch, you are in Hollywood and you were traumatized by a slap? That was the biggest lie I've ever heard come out of that bitch mouth. What? Traumatized? And people talk, man, look, first of all, I can't lie. I think it's kind of funny that Will is playing a fucking as a slave, you know, to try to come back and win good graces with society after that smack. But I'm sure he acted his ass off, and I'm probably going to go see it just to, you know, see what I think of it. But still, it's a weird situation, man. It was just a fucking slap. It was just a slap. And I don't think that it was something that should have been blown up so much to where niggas is having like traumatic flashbacks and shit. That's crazy. He said as much jokes she's stolen. Shout out to George Wallace. He went off on the Smiths. That was actually one of the funniest shits I've heard in a while. George Wallace is a very hilarious person. And if you didn't see, matter of fact, random plug, but Atlanta on FX, Donald Glover's show, if you haven't watched season 4 of that, go watch it. I was very surprised. Motherfucking, wait, was it season? It was it was season 3, I think. Maybe it was the ending of season 3. Which one was Kevin Samuels on? Kevin Samuels was on one of the Atlanta seasons. I think it was season 3. But whatever episode Kevin Samuels was on, George Wallace was on the same episode, and it was hilarious. Y'all gotta go check that shit out. But in all realness, all seriousness, man, you know, Will still, in my opinion, regardless, is a legend. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't disregard the work he's put in as an actor, as, you know, an artist, as somebody who has, you know, been successful in this genre. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't put it past him. I know there's some people out there that hate him, like my brother Fu, who hates Will Smith to the core. Like, he really, really hates Will Smith. Like, he hates Will Smith. Like, he has a list of people he hates, and I think Will Smith is like number 1 or some shit like that. But, you know, I don't hold nothing against Will, man. I think Will is you know, still a dope individual, man. And that's pretty much what I have to say about that. That's pretty much all I have to say about that, man. Shout out to Will, man. Go check out Emancipation and all that other good shit. I think there was one more thing I wanted to touch on before we got the fuck out of here. Was that it? What was I gonna say? Oh, that's what I was gonna say. On the 5150 show, Corey and Marcus decided to get undressed, and I just wanted to say that Corey looked like he built like too much embalming fluid. Yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to say. GMS fam, the green room, thank y'all so much for pulling up on me today. It was a very dope show, as usual. You know, we keep these shits going every week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Make sure you pull up Friday for the 3Gs as well. Go subscribe to 3Gs podcast. We keep it live and direct over there every Friday night. Hit the like button, man. I see y'all in the chat. Hit the like button if you didn't hit it already. Follow me on my socials. I'll follow everybody back. Hit the Cash App today if you are feeling generous. GMS show, really, really appreciate y'all for supporting and everything like that. We want to continue to build. We want to continue to elevate. So if you want to support and help us grow and help us elevate out here, the best way to do it is to donate to the channel and also hit the like button and comment, all that good shit. It means the world to me, so I appreciate it. GMS fam, put the GMS in the chat right now, man. We gonna close this motherfucker out. Smoke something if you got it. I know you do. If you ain't watching the GMS show with some smoke, you ain't watching it right. It was a very good show. It was the first time we had some haters pull up in a while, man. It's been a minute. You know, usually haters stay clear of this channel, but a few people had to pull up. Why you talking about Corey? I thought you were lying. I don't want nobody. Man, fuck y'all and fuck him too, nigga. Give a fuck about that shit. I talk about what's interesting to me, man. That shit's interesting. You'll be a lying ass fool if you didn't think that show was interesting. That's a very interesting podcast, man. Funny too. I don't give a fuck about none of the personal shit. This is YouTube, nigga. I don't take none of that shit to heart. Cause I don't know these niggas. I only know me and where I come from and how I think and how I move. And so far, nobody wanna fuck around. Shout out to Joe Blast. Shout out to John Mammoth. Trey 979, Aboriginal T, Wilt Stumbling 45. What's going on, Reggie Ruckus? C-Mo in the building. GMS fam, man. Trey 979 look like he putting in a Grand Theft Auto cheat code. He Tyson Jordan, he said, that's you rapping on Jaspo the Reaper Steve song? No, that is Jasbo's cousin, all right? That is definitely Jaspo the Reaper's cousin rapping on his intro. If you want to hear me rap, I just put out a new freestyle that I'm sure y'all haven't heard. Let me see. Let me see if y'all can click on this. Cause I can't speak for Jaspo's people, but myself, I believe I have a few bars. So if you want to hear what that sounds like, tap this link right there. I'm gonna pin it to the top as well. Tap that link. That's what y'all should go do. After you hit the like button on this motherfucker and subscribe and all that good shit, tap that link and go listen to some bars. Some shit that'll actually have you replaying that motherfucker over and over and over again. Oh yeah. Shout out King Lukey, Pro Miko in the building. C-Mo in this motherfucker, Joe Blast, my guy. Tap that link. Go subscribe, all that good shit to the other channel and shit. Let me know what you think of the song. GMS fam, the green room. I'ma see y'all in the comment section. When the live is over, hit that comment section too. I'll see y'all over there. GMS fam, we out.